COVID-19 arrived in Israel in February of 2020. The borders were shut. Events were canceled. Leisure and recreation locations were shut down. And restrictions on movement and gatherings were put in place. The market nearly came to a complete standstill. Hundreds of thousands of workers were put on vacation without pay. Businesses shuttered their doors, and the number of unemployed skyrocketed. Schools and universities closed. Distance learning began. The Federation of Local Authorities in Israel understood how critical this crisis would become. The Federation created a situation room, emergency hotlines, and a hotline for the Arab sector to explain guidelines. The Situation Room began to send out constant updates and aided the local authorities in managing the outbreak by providing them with information in real time. The local authorities rose to the challenge and began dealing with the new reality. Municipalities worked together to create projects such as safe zones for the elderly, founded a network of volunteers to distribute food and medication, provided over 100 million NIS to strengthen the health infrastructure, and creating Corona wards in hospitals together with the National Lottery. Cultural events under restrictions such as balcony concerts, comedy shows, communal prayers, music trucks, and virtual story times were launched by the cities to improve the morale of the residents. Aiding in distance learning, giving tax breaks to businesses affected by the crisis, and providing emotional support to those in need were also offered by the local authorities. In June 2020, the second wave of the pandemic broke out, and with it marked the enlisting of the local authorities by the national government. Under the guidance of the Federation, thousands of police officers were trained in how to enforce Corona guidelines and how to implement the restrictions in local businesses. The Federation, together with the IDF's Home Front Command, began to provide mayors with real-time updates to mayors via the Corona Dashboard Network, which now provides services to over 60 municipalities. In the commerce sector, the local authorities provided additional assistance for businesses in handling fines and taxes, and allowed for local businesses to open their stores on public property to allow for open-air shopping. Furthermore, the Federation provided assistance in expanding the Summer Vacation School project to help parents return to work, while also working with the Ministry of Education to shape the strategy in reopening schools on the 1st of September. Citizens of Israel understand now, more than ever, that the local authorities are here to provide their needs and to be a bridge between them and the national government. Recent polls point to a high level of confidence in the local authorities and their handling of the crisis. Furthermore, the national government's recent decision to transfer more powers to the local authorities, such as education management, indicates a growing confidence in the municipalities from the decision makers in Jerusalem. The transfer of crisis management to the local authorities and the provision of practical tools, authority and flexibility for vital services, allows for the local authorities to track and decipher exact information on infections, gives them the ability to make decisions which are practical for their local residents, and allows for information and guidelines to reach residents more efficiently, further aiding in the effort to combat the pandemic. Under the leadership of the local authorities, we will continue to combat the virus, and we will be able to defeat it. The Federation of Local Authorities in Israel, your home address.